So when I started watching Sons of Anarchy, which for those of you who don't know, is a show following the titular motorcycle club and its vice president turned president, Jackson Teller, I quickly realized many of the characters we meet in this show are top-notch and unforgettable. Jax, Gemma, Opie, Tara, Clay, etc. These are staples of the series and have huge impacts on the plot and events that transpire for everybody else. But there's also another character, one that we know very little about, only see 10 or 11 times, and yet they have been a huge talking point for years, to the point where even the creator has had to address just what the hell is going on with this character. The character in question, a homeless woman. This is a special and strange character unlike everyone else in the series because she's the only character who is only semi-grounded in reality. And because of this, people have speculated different things about who or what she actually is. She's always around when something really awful or emotionally taxing is going on, even when the club is in Ireland, far away from where she should actually be. She seems connected to Jax, but we really don't know what her true deal is, which is why today we're going to be talking about the theories on who this woman actually is. There are many, but I've narrowed it down to the three I see the most often, and we'll try to break these down individually, and by the end of the video, I'll give my personal thoughts. Let's get started. Theory 1. She is the Grim Reaper. The most popular theory I hear is that the homeless woman is actually the incarnation of death, or the Grim Reaper. This is backed up by quite a bit of information when you actually look at who the woman is, but take all of this with a grain of salt. Emily Putner is a woman who died in JT's crash. There's a scene where Jack sees the photo of Emily, and Emily's husband says that he sees her in other people. This is clearly a hint to the audience that we're supposed to think more of this character. If you look up the actress who plays Emily, the woman doesn't even exist. The only actress who has her name, Charlie E. Parker, is a heavier woman of a completely different look and skin tone, not the woman who they show to be playing Emily Putner. The actress who plays Emily, however, does look very similar to the actress who plays the homeless woman, Olivia Burnett, which has caused many fans to believe they are actually the same person. Now, because of JT's importance to Jax and Gemma, this could be the form the Reaper decides to take on, as they are the only two who actually see her apart from Milo. And I saw a post made on Reddit where they pointed out that she starts to appear around Juice in the final season as well. She tends to appear around those who will die. There are some other more on-the-nose examples, one of which will actually come into play later for a different section, but in the last episode when she gives Jax the blanket and tells him it's time, he uses that blanket and sits on the staircase like the Reaper himself, killing Marks and then dying himself at the end of the episode in the crash the same way his father did. One of the theories I saw mentioned how perhaps after JT and Emily died, the Angel of Death took her form to make sure that the club and its old ways were destroyed, to oversee Jax as he did it before his time was up and then sent him on his way. These are a few of the many reasons that the character either represents or is the actual embodiment of death itself, using Jax as the Messiah to bring it to a close at the end. Theory 2. She is Jax's guardian angel. This is an interesting theory. There isn't too much to back it up, but I still wanted to mention it because the woman does seem to have a very special connection to Jax, and only is shown to him at very pivotal points in his life that are dangerous or crucial, and he lives this life of crime and survives all the way until the end where he isn't needed any further, and his affairs are mostly in order. And if you subscribe to this specific theory, the meaning of its time could mean something different from the other two theories. In the case the woman was Jax's guardian angel, the meaning of its time could mean that it's the end of her protection over him, or that he is no longer in need of her protection. And following this is when he finishes his mission and dies. Theory 3. She is the manifestation of Jesus Christ. This one might seem far-fetched, but honestly has the most direct clues out of the three of them. While this specific theory may not be the most deep-rooted or have the most evidence overall, there's a lot that can be taken from this when looking at the finale. When we see her with the wine and the bread, this is clearly at least a nod to the fact that she could be the manifestation of Jesus. And even after Jax dies, we see the wine and bread again, the blood and body of Christ, alongside Sutter, the man behind Sons of Anarchy, saying in fair enough a joking tone that she was Jesus. However, I genuinely think this theory does hold weight, and there's a genuine case for this being the intended meaning of this character. When his face is all messed up, she shows him the way to cool water, and in a different episode when speaking to Gemma, Gemma asks her if she knows her, and she replies with, "Everybody knows me," before she walks into a church. Certainly less on the nose than the wine and bread, but still a clue nonetheless. Overall thoughts. After going through my research and really taking the time to analyze the scenes she's in, I've come to the conclusion that I believe the homeless woman is death. For all the reasons I stated in that section of the video, and when looking at the other points from the other sections, they can also be applicable to the Grim Reaper. While the bread and wine I have no explanation for, and remains that annoying little thought in the back of my head that I could be very wrong, even the everybody knows me can be applicable to death, and shouldn't be discarded just because they walked into a church. Everybody knows death. Everyone in the world has experienced it in some form or the other, and death itself is not good or evil, so I don't see a reason why the Reaper wouldn't be allowed to go into a church. I think they spent so much time hinting at the fact that she was the Grim Reaper that even if they leaned more into the godly side of it later later on, she was likely intended to represent the Grim Reaper. And there are a ton of examples I'm sure I forgot to include in this video that would support that statement, especially with how much death Jax and Gemma partake in, and they are the two primary people who interacted with this character. It's honestly really interesting. Sutter gave a very strange comment on it that I'll put up on screen here when responding to fans, and it's a fun debate that I like to partake because in a show so grounded in reality, to have a character like that so obviously more than meets the eye, it makes for some fun conversations with those who enjoy talking about it. So I hope you enjoyed, and as I always say, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you guys next week.